Hello everyone, my name is Paper Slayer and this is the first class of this course, and I just want to get things started and tell you a few things before we actually get into the drawing part. The first thing is that you actually have to practice. There is no video on this planet that can actually make you good at anything. No teacher, no course, doesn't matter how much money you put into it. If you yourself do not want to be good at art, if you do not want to sit down and draw daily, on a daily basis, make time for it, nobody can help you. No one can help you. There is no totka, there is no tips and tricks, there is nothing. There is only one thing between you and being exceptional, is that you have to actually sit down and work hard towards it. Okay, that is the only way. There is no other way. Okay, I am not here to joke around. I am not here to tell you that there is this thing, if you do it then ho jayega. Nahi. If you want to be good at something, you have to put in the effort to be good at it. Otherwise, you're not going to be good at it. It is that easy. Okay? Number two, these videos are not funny. These are not for entertainment. They are only for education. My job is to teach you, and your job is to learn. Okay? Number three, you have to have fun. If you are not having fun, then you are not going to learn anything. The only reason people sit down and draw on a daily basis is because they love drawing. If you don't want to draw, then you are not having fun. If you are not having fun, then you are not going to draw more and more. If you are not going to draw, then obviously you are not going to improve. It's that easy. It is that simple. You have to sit down and you have to draw and you have to enjoy the process. I know everybody wants to show a really good drawing to other people, brag about your skills and all that, but if you are not having fun while drawing, then you are going to quit eventually. It's the process that matters. It does not matter what the outcome is. If you are not having fun while drawing, then you are doing it wrong. It might not be your thing. Okay? Or try some other approaches. Now that that is out of the way, let's go downstairs and actually start with the drawing process.
So let's start with the actual drawing now. So every single drawing ever made with any medium has one thing in common, which is lines. Every single drawing has lines. It doesn't matter what way, shape, or form they are, but they are lines. If you're doing with it color, if you're doing with color pencils, it has lines. Just graphite pencils, it has lines. In painting, it has strokes, which are basically lines. Big fat lines, but lines. So what we are trying to do here is that we are trying to make our lines as good as they possibly can be, because we need to start from the very minor things. When we start with minor things such as a line is a very simple object, a very simple thing to do, but over time, when it accumulates, when a lot of lines are put together on a piece of paper, it turns into a big drawing, right? But if all of those lines have flaws in each of them, overall, when you are making a huge drawing, let's say on an A4 sheet or an A3 sheet, it's going to look awful. Okay, so what we are going to do is we are going to make sure that small things are rectified first, because once you can rectify very small things, then overall in the future, your overall drawing is going to be a lot better. Okay, so a lot of people do have a lot of problem with just drawing a simple line. Let's say a lot of people have a lot of trouble with just drawing a line as simple as this. When a lot of people, they are trying to draw a line, what might happen is that their hand might shake like this, or like this. Okay, so what we are trying to do is we are trying to eliminate all of these issues while drawing smaller things. It's very hard to rectify issues when you are drawing something big and you're trying to find things that are wrong with that drawing. It's a lot easier to break things down, and I am going to say this thing a lot: breaking things down, making things simple in this course a lot, because it's one of the most crucial things that you need to develop as like an artist, as a skill that you need to develop as an artist. Because if you can't break things down, if you can't simplify things, then it's going to be a lot harder for you to draw big things. Right now, you might be trying to draw lines, you might not be experienced, you might not be a seasoned artist. So what you need to do is that you need to start right now and try to practice how to draw lines. Of course, we will get to how to actually practice, but right now we are just talking about it. So being able to draw proper lines is going to eventually make your life infinitely easier. Okay? Because when you are new to all of this and you are just having fun, and having fun is extremely important, like I have said before. But the thing is that having fun is fine, but also rectifying your small mistakes are a huge deal. Because what happens is that once you have drawn, let's say, like this or like this for years and years, it becomes extremely hard for somebody to get rid of that bad habit. This is a bad habit, this is a bad habit. Okay? So once you have done this for 5, 6, 7 years, it's going to be infinitely harder for you to get into an actual good habit and being able to draw proper lines like this, straight, proper, no bullshit lines. Okay? So what I am trying to teach here is I am trying to help everybody to get a base that is strong, very, very strong, with good habits built into you, good habits of sitting down and practicing, good habits of seeing things, because observation and seeing things is a huge part of drawing. Just following a reference isn't going to make you a good artist. What is going to make you a good artist is that you being able to see things clearly and in a simplified form. Because when you look at real life, let's say you are trying to do realism. I'm not saying you should or you shouldn't, but I'm just saying if you are, let's say, doing realism, when it comes to realism, there is a lot of things happening at the same time. A lot of things: textures, lighting, shapes, different environmental factors. There is so much that goes on: shadows, light, etc., etc. It becomes really, really hard for somebody to tackle realism, because realism has so much to it, right? So much to it. So in those cases, what you need to do is you need to simplify things so your brain can comprehend things and slowly build up something layer by layer. Okay? So let's say you just want to draw this eraser. So you have to start and you have to ignore everything that this thing is. You have to ignore the fact that this is a rectangle. You have to you have to ignore the fact that this is a cube equivalent of a rectangle. You have to let go of the fact where the light is coming from, where the light is hitting this, what kind of texture this has, if it is rubber or if it's something else. So the only thing that you need to think about when you are trying to draw rectangle trying to draw an eraser is that this is a rectangle, and then slowly you take different aspects of this thing and then slowly you build it up. You started with a rectangle, then you go on to making this a cube equivalent of a rectangle. I am actually not sure what it's called, I'm sorry about that. If you know, let me know. And then you have to take in the lighting, and then you have to take in the texture, and then the dirtiness, because this is an eraser after all. So all of these things have to be built on layer by layer by layer, and the base layer of any drawing is lines. A lot of people have a lot of trouble with lines, but when you fix your lines, overall your drawing experience is going to improve. You are going to love drawing, and also you are going to see a huge difference in your actual drawings. Because when there is a really good saying that says ki boon boon se sagar banta hai, right? So if you take that into consideration, then every line, like line se drawing banti hai basically. So when all of these lines accumulate and they make a big picture, and when all of those lines are well made, then it's going to make a big drawing look really good. Because you might see a lot of people who draw color pencils or whatnot, but you might see that their outlines are bad, their colorings are not that well made. You can see the colored strokes, etc., etc. A lot of things you can just look at it and you can see for yourself all the bad habits that they have accumulated over the years. So what we are trying to do is we are going to start from the very basics, and we are going to make your base strong. So you, first of all, you enjoy drawing, and second, your drawings from a fundamental level improve, and also your stability of your hand improves, because these problems, these happen because right now, since you are new to this, you do not have the stability in your hand to draw a line properly and straight. You do not have that muscle memory. So what we need to do is we need to help you get to that muscle memory stage. Right now you have to do it actively by thinking about it, but after a certain period of time, 5 months, 6 months, a year, 2 years, does not matter, everybody learns at a different pace, you are going to develop that muscle memory, and then you won't even have to think about it. You can just draw a straight line. थोड़ा गड़बड़ हो गया यहाँ पे, but mistakes happen, everybody is going to make mistakes. So don't think about mistakes all that much, because everybody is going to make mistakes. You, me, everybody. It's not a huge deal. The only thing that mistakes are for is so you can rectify them. Okay? So let's start with the actual line drawing practice or process. So the best kind of lines are tapered lines. But before we get into tapered lines, we are going to just practice small lines. Like this. Straight line, very straight line. It starts at a point, ends at a point. Very small line, very easy to do. Right now, if you try to do the same thing, what will happen maybe is that you might see this. Okay? Because you don't know how your hand movements are working right now, what might happen is that you will start it, and instead of going straight, your hand might dip a little bit, and that is how you get this check mark type of effect. Okay, and that is a bad habit, because when you are trying to draw lines, let's say you are trying to do architecture, or maybe you are trying to do some line work or for some anime or cartoon or something, and if you do this, then it's going to be very hard, especially like when you are inking, because all of these bad habits are going to transfer when you are inking. So try to not do this. But the thing is that learning is simply identifying your mistakes and then trying to fix them. If you are not identifying your mistakes, then you won't be able to fix any of it. Okay? And looking out for all the mistakes that you are doing, you are making, is extremely important. Okay? So let's draw another line. This is a lot bigger, but as you can see, starts at a point, ends at a point. Not exactly, but we will get to it soon. So this is what we call a tapered line. Okay? This is where the lines, they gradually start and they gradually move out of the paper. Okay? This is what we call a tapered line. It is tapered on the sides and thicker in the middle. Okay? This is thicker in the middle, and these two sides are tapering off. Let's make another line, a proper tapered line like this one. As you can see, this is much better than this one. This one, the lines are slowly fading in and then slowly fading out. This is what we call a tapered line. What this line does is that when you are drawing something, let's say small, okay, and you just want to draw something like this, very small, or something very simple, it gives you a better way of actually drawing it, because you have much more control over your own hands. Getting to a proper tapered line is a very hard thing to do when you are just starting out. Okay, when you are just starting out, and I completely understand that it will take some time for you to actually get to this point. But when you do, what will happen is that let's say take both of your hands in front of your face right now like this, okay, or do it one hand at a time, whatever you want. Do not have anything touching the bottom portion of your hand, okay. Do not put it on the table or anywhere else, just have it hanging in the air like this, okay, and see your hand and try to identify if your hands are moving at all, if your fingers are twitching like this one at a time or something. A lot of people have that, like their hands twitch like this. But if you see my hand, okay, let's just take my right hand. And if you hold it for 30 seconds in the air like this, you might start to see that different fingers, they are slowly twitching. But as you can see on my hand, they are not twitching at all, because my hands over since I've been practicing so much, it has like learned how to be, properly like stable. And we need to get that stability in our hands so our lines and our drawing in general improves. Right now, if you're trying to draw something, if you're drawing for a long period of time, what will happen, since your hands are shaking all the time, since you are like putting so much effort actually keeping your hand stable, it is putting a lot of strain on your hand, okay? And it's making the process of drawing not enjoyable, and over time you are going to like gather wrist pain, okay? So this exercise, this line drawing thing exercise, what it does is that it helps you get into that muscle memory state, and also it gives your hand more stability. It makes your hand less shaky, and over time it's going to make your hands feel less pain. I draw for a very long period of time. I've been drawing for 7 years every single day, more or less, and I have no wrist pain at all, like none at all. Because from the very beginning, what I did was that I made sure that the drawing experience was comfortable. And of course, I didn't start with all of this because I didn't know about any of it. But later on, when I finally understood that I wasn't drawing properly, or maybe my skills needed a little bit of a boost, and then I identified that my lines were really bad. So then I started doing this practice, and over time, within a year, my hands grew much more comfortable, they grew much more stable, and right now I can do the things that I can do because of it. That's why we are starting from lines. Another thing is that a lot of people, they struggle with actually holding the pencil properly. This is a very small pencil. I hope you have a larger pencil like this. Is a color pencil, by the way. Please use 2B, 3B or HB pencils, because I am using a color pencil and a 10B pencil only because this is good for demonstration. You guys can see properly. Okay. So as I was saying ki, as I was saying that holding your pencil properly is extremely important, because a lot of people in real life, they hold their pencil like this. They can barely see what is going on the paper. A lot of people hold their pencil like this as well. And when you are sitting straight up and you are trying to draw and you can't see what is going on in your hand or on the paper, it's going to be infinitely harder for you to do anything when it comes to drawing. Why is that? Because if you can't see the tip of your pencil and the paper where it's touching it, and you don't know what is going on, then of course you are going to have a lot of trouble with it. So the best way to hold your pencil is that to have three fingers holding it. Have the middle finger as a support, as a bottom support. The thumb is going to be the anchor. It is going to hold the pencil in place. And the index finger is going to put the sufficient amount of pressure to actually get what you want out of your strokes. And your index finger is responsible for controlling the pressure you exude on the paper to get the proper amount of force, the proper amount of pressure. Okay. Putting the right amount of pressure is extremely crucial, because in colored pencil or in any medium really, sometimes you want a very thin line like this. I hope you can see it. A very thin line like this, or maybe you want something very dark, something like this. So it depends what kind of line you are actually trying to achieve, and having the ability to control your pressure is going to be extremely important. Because let's say you are shading, and in shading you have to sometimes do less shading like this, and sometimes you have to do very dark shading like this. So having the ability to control your pressure is going to make you much more agile, much more capable of getting what you want. Without all of this practice, you are only going to be limited to one form of pressure, which is either, so two forms of pressure, either very hard or very light, and you won't be able to like get the right amount of pressure. Sometimes you want something in between, something like this, something in between, or maybe you want to go even lighter than this. So it depends what you want. Every drawing is going to be different, right? So having these skills is going to make you somebody who can tackle anything, and that is the kind of skills I want you to have. I can't tell you how to draw every single drawing on the planet. It's not possible. So what I can do is I can give you the tools so you can tackle your own battles, you can fight your own battles, right? Because you want to draw something completely different than something that I might want to draw. And that is the beauty of art, that everybody wants to do something different, and everybody, even though you and me might draw the same thing, it might come out drastically different depending on who is drawing it. That's the thing. So now that we have a little bit of understanding of lines, let's get to a little bit of practicing. Okay. How to practice? First things first, I am not going to tell you to sit down and practice for an hour every day. This is a warm up practice. Okay. Let's say you are sitting down to draw on Monday 7 p.m. So before you sit down to draw at 7 p.m., take 10 to 15 minutes. I think everybody has 10 to 15 minutes, and simply draw lines like this. Okay. Take a few minutes and just draw lines slowly. You don't have to draw them extremely fast. Just draw them slowly as you can. And the slow you are, the more aware you are of what kind of mistakes you are actually making. If you are making a lot of mistakes, completely fine, no issues. But what you need to do is you need to figure out the fact that you are making mistakes. Let's say you are drawing a line like this. This is not a straight line. This is a very crooked line. It starts on a upwards S shape and then leaves at a downwards S shape. Okay. So this is not a good line. This looks nice, but like we are trying to get stability. So right now, this is not a very good line. So now that you know the issues with this line, which is the front and the and end, let's fix the first one first. Okay. So we are going to make the front straight, and then we are going to like make this one bend on purpose. Okay. So we started the front, it's straight, and then here it bends. So we fixed one mistake at a time. We fixed the first mistake, and this is the second mistake. So now we are going to fix the second mistake as well. Okay. We have fixed the second mistake as well. So when we are drawing something, as simple as a line, as a straight line, or a curved line, what happens is that right now you have the capacity to make of something very small, which is a line, and you can find the mistakes in one singular line and you can fix it. Now over time, as all of these lines accumulate into a single drawing, it's going to look far better than before, because right now maybe you are a beginner, as I said, and you are struggling with lines. So when you are drawing all of those lines, all of them have some form of impurity to it, and all of those accumulate into a not very satisfactory drawing, because you are not doing the best you can overall for your drawings, and your lines are suffering, therefore your drawing is suffering as well. So we fixed the lines, and this is what you need to do. You need to draw something slowly, and then you need to identify what kind of mistake you made in that line, and then you move on and you try to fix it one by one. If there are three mistakes, try to fix one mistake, and once that one mistake is done, go for another one, then go for another one, and that is how you slowly but surely improve. You need to fix your mistakes. Do not be afraid of making mistakes. Mistakes are what make us who we are. So make sure always you are actually paying attention to what you're drawing, because it's very easy to just draw lines like this as fast as you possibly can, and trust me, the faster you go, the slower you are, because the faster you go, the easier it is for you to actually make mistakes. Okay. So go very slow. Right now you don't know how to draw proper lines, but slowly when you start to realize what kind of mistakes you are actually making, you will be able to get into a proper pace, a medium pace, which is not very slow, not very fast either. And you won't even have to think about it anymore. Right now you have to actually think about that I am going to start my line from this point and I am going to go straight. You have to think about it. But later on, as you keep doing it and you keep fixing your mistakes, you won't even have to think about it anymore. You will be simply be able to do whatever you want, and it's going to be very simple. You just want to draw a line and you will draw a line. Okay, it's going to be that easy. And we want to get to that stage, because once everything becomes muscle memory, once good habits turn into the muscle memory, it becomes really easy and really comfortable for you to draw. Drawing should be an enjoyable experience. If you are not having fun, then you are not drawing. If you are not having fun, then you are not improving. If you are not having fun, then you don't want to do it anymore. A lot of people, they just want to be good at drawing. Okay, they want to show it to other people. But the fact is, if you are not enjoying the process itself, then you are not going to be good at it. It's very easy. People do things that they love and they keep doing it. People watch reels, right? Because it makes them feel good about themselves. The reason is because reels are designed that way. So you watch reels on a daily basis, right? On a daily basis. That's how most of you probably found me. But the thing is, if you are not practicing properly, then you are missing out and you are not going to improve at all. Okay. Now let's move on to something important on how to actually properly improve. The only way to properly improve. Okay. The first thing is that the way we learn is called knowledge consolidation. Okay. What is knowledge consolidation? It is the way we learn things. So how knowledge consolidation works is that when we do something during the daytime, like let's say we are drawing lines, right? So when we go to sleep at night, when we are going through the deep sleep stages, what our brain does subconsciously is that it replays everything that we did during the day, and it slowly learns from it. So let's say you draw 5 lines every single day, and your brain is replaying that every day. And slowly over time, as it replays again and again and again, that knowledge or that memory turns into your muscle memory. It becomes a thing that you don't even have to think about and you can just do it. That is how you get muscle memory. And when it comes to anything physical, for example, art or maybe some sport, it muscle memory, it plays a huge role when it comes to like physical sports, like not it's not a sport, but I'm just trying to get a point across, which is drawing and any form of sport which is physically based. So what we need to do, understanding how knowledge consolidation works, what we need to do is that we need to start doing it on a daily basis. We need to start working on this on a daily basis, because if we are not working on this on a daily basis, then knowledge consolidation doesn't kick in and we do not learn. Let's say every day you sit down at 7 p.m. on your living room couch and you sit down and draw every single day. You draw for 15 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour, doesn't matter. The fact is, you're doing it on a daily basis. And when you are doing it on a daily basis, your body gets used to that fact. Your body gets used to when you are actually sitting down to draw, and your body prepares for it. I go to the gym on 8 a.m. every single day, right? So whenever I wake up at 7 a.m., what happens is that my body understands that I have to go to the gym, and therefore it prepares itself for that activity. Okay, I wake up, I brush myself, and then I get some coffee or something, and my body instantly energizes, knowing that I have to go to the gym and I have to like exude a lot of like force there. So my body prepares for it. And in drawing, it's the same thing. If your body knows that at 7 p.m. I am going to sit down and draw, your body relaxes itself and your body gets ready to actually sit down and draw. That is why actually having a time and a place to sit down and draw is extremely important. If you have a certain time of day where you sit down to do something you want to do, your body, as I said before, slowly prepares itself, and when you actually sit down to do it, you become very calm and you become ready to actually do it. Okay, so the first thing you need to do right now is to you need to designate a place and a time for you to sit down and draw. It doesn't matter if you're drawing for 30 minutes, an hour, 5 hours, does not matter. What matters is that the frequency of you actually sitting down and draw on a daily basis. If you are doing it every single day, your brain is slowly learning. So let's say you are getting better 1% a day. Okay. Now 1% a day isn't a huge thing. You won't really actually notice how much you are actually improving. But 1% a day means 100 days later, you are going to be 100% better than you are right now. Okay. A year down the line, if you start today, a year later, you are going to be 36 times better than you are right now if you do it on a daily basis every single day. Okay, I know there are going to be some times where you can't do it. Let's just say you draw 300 days out of 365 days. Okay, how much is that? That is 30 times improvement over a course of a year. And without actually sitting down and practicing, you are not going anywhere. There is no totka, there is no tips or tricks to improve. The only way to be exceptional at something is to pour your blood and sweat every single day into that particular thing and then improve at it. If you go to the gym and on the first week you are only like doing a 1 pound raise, right? Over time you are going to move on from 1 pound to 1 kg, then 1 kg to 2 kg, then 5 kg, then 10 kg, and eventually you can like do a 30 kg dumbbell curl or something like that. So over time, as you are slowly doing it on a daily basis, you are going to improve, and you won't see that improvement right now, but over time, a month, 2 months, 6 months later, you are going to see it, and you have to be patient. You have to be patient. Without patience, this thing is not for you. Being able to be good at anything requires you to have patience. If you just want something right now, instant gratification, then maybe this is not the right thing for you. Okay? But if you are serious about this and you want to be really good at this, simply sit down, draw for 15 minutes, like do this warm up for 15 minutes, and then simply move on to whatever you want to draw. Whatever, make whatever mistakes you want, does not matter. But the important part is that you need to do these exercises on a daily basis right before you sit down to draw. 10 minutes to 15 minutes, that's it. So what you need to do is you need to simply draw 10 lines every single day slowly. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay. Of course, some lines like this will have some problems in it. There is nothing wrong with it. Everybody makes mistakes. But what you need to do is that you need to sit down and draw just 10 lines like this. You draw one line, you try to understand what is the mistake in that one line. Okay, one mistake, so you try to fix that mistake in the second line, and then you try to understand what mistakes did I make in this one, and then you try to fix that one in the third line. Abhi, of course, you can't fix a mistake in just one attempt. I am experienced with it, therefore it only takes me one attempt. But right now, because you are learning, it might take you, I don't know, hundreds of attempts, and that's fine. This is a game of trial and error, and you have to fail a few times to actually improve, to understand the things that you are doing wrong. This is not maths. Okay? This is not maths, and I can't give you a formula where you can just put it on the paper and instantly your drawings will be fixed. This is a sport for people who are willing to put in the effort to learn their own rhythm, to learn what they want to draw. Okay? And whenever you start to realize what you want to draw, you can move towards it and you can find your own mistakes out. Right now, the best thing that I can do for you is to help you make your fundamentals strong. That's it. When your fundamentals are strong, everything else falls into place. Okay, it's that easy. So you don't have to draw tapered lines right now. Okay, you don't have to. What you need to do is you simply need to draw small lines, like a 1 inch line like this. Okay, and you just need to draw 10 of these each day. After a week, next week, I am going to see your progress. Please show me all of the lines that you have made, and I will give you a criticism of how to improve, what you are doing good and what you are doing bad. Okay, I hope that was very easy to understand. If you do have any questions, feel free to ask me anytime you want. Not a big deal. You can ask it in the group. You can ask me directly. Whatever you want. Everybody is here to learn, and I'm here to teach. Okay. I will see you guys next week. That was me teaching you how to draw lines, and next week we are going to talk about tapered lines, how to draw tapered lines like we talked here. Right now, just drew the simple lines. Then we will move on to tapered lines and we will talk about a few different things like observation or something else. Okay, depending on your progress. I will see you guys next week. Bye bye. Have fun while drawing. That's the most important thing. Have fun. Okay.